Now the title for this movie is weird because it's called Insidious Chapter 3, but really it's a prequel to the first 2 chapters. So really it should be called Insidious Chapter 0. That just sounds dumb. So Insidious Chapter 3. Now, Insidious Chapter 3 is actually a prequel to the first 2 chapters. And in Chapter 3, we follow Quinn, who just recently lost her mother to cancer. And with the help of a medium named Elise, they try to contact her dead mother. But when you contact the dead, all can hear. And an evil entity called the Man Who Can't Breathe hears this call, and let's face it, is now out for Quinn. Now, I was one of those people who went nuts over the first Insidious film. I, in my opinion, think it's one of the best mainstream horror movies in the past 20 years. And I actually really enjoyed its sequel, Chapter 2, and how it expanded upon the mythology. So I was really looking forward to Chapter 3 for a lot of reasons. One, I liked the first 2, and it marks the directorial debut of Leigh Whannell, who I absolutely have been a massive fan of all the way back since the first Saw. And I have to say, Chapter 3 delivered the goods. I was so happy with this chapter, you guys. I mean, I feel like it overall is just a nice, tight, solid horror film, you guys. Now, one of the things I love about these Insidious films is I think they're textbook examples of how to do jump scares and do them well. So many horror films are jam-packed with pointless jump scares that don't add any tension or any weight. So the moment that they occur, they're completely dead. But Insidious actually knows how to do jump scares and make them credible to the point where it actually builds tension for the next jump scare. And I have to say, there are some jump scares in Chapter 3, but not as much as there are in the first 2 chapters, in my opinion. Now, what I also really like about Chapter 3 is it actually marks the directorial debut of Leigh Whannell, who I have been a massive fan of ever since the first Saw. He and James Wan have had such a great friendship, and you can definitely tell that they work well together because some of what Wan has taught him definitely moved over into his directorial debut, and I think he does a fantastic job here. Everything looks good, it looks clear. He does a great job at building suspense, and I've always liked him as a writer, and he doesn't falter there on his script in this film. Now, the best thing about Insidious Chapter 3 is Lin Shaye. This movie is Lin Shaye's movie. She just commands every scene that she is in. She can be dramatic, she can be emotional, she can be vulnerable, she can have all these different ranges as an actress, and it's incredible. And also, her character has so much depth in this film, and I will admit, by the end of the film, not only for her character, but for some of the other characters as well, there's actually a lot of emotion in this film. I actually felt an emotional way, especially knowing the events that have occurred in the first 2 chapters. Now, is Insidious Chapter 3 scary? In my opinion, it is. I thought there were definitely some intense, scary moments. Granted, I didn't think it was as scary as the first 2 chapters, but overall there was some good, solid tension in this film. Now, in terms of faults, I will admit though, this evil entity that they called the Man Who Can't Breathe, I would have liked to know more about him. I feel like there was some backstory that I would have liked to have gotten about his character to make him more menacing. He just came a little flat by the end of it all. Insidious Chapter 3 is tense, frightening, and it expands on the mythology established by the first 2 films. Also is a powerhouse for Lin Shaye to just be freaking awesome Lin Shaye. As the score goes, I'm going to give Insidious Chapter 3 a 4 out of 5. So you guys, are you a fan of the now horror trilogy Insidious? Make sure to leave your thoughts in the comment section below. And until next time, you guys, I'm the Slasher Movie Reviewer, and you guys have just been slashed.